one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall.
I'm ready for whatever right now.
Welcome. Yo, let me clear my throat real quick, Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. The AFC Championship game has just concluded. And that Pat Mahomes, the GOAT, is headed back to yet another Super Bowl. His 4th Super Bowl. Dude's unreal. I mean, it makes no sense at this point. It makes no sense at this point. How does one become so great? It makes absolutely no sense, but we will get into the game and whatnot. I know it's a lot of Raven fans out there that's going to be very hurt, very sad. And I'm a Raven fan myself. Now, I would love to tell you that I'm hurt, sad, and broken down. I'm not. Obviously, I done told y'all before. I don't get too, if ever, I don't really get down in the dumps about loss. I get irritated by stupidity, but losses come a dime a dozen, bro. I told you, it's just impossible for me. I know people who don't like me or people who don't like the channel would have wanted me to be sad and emotional about. That's why I always go at fans when they go off the rails when they team lose, because I'm like, bro, it just can never be that serious to us. We are not the ones being paid. We are not the ones playing. I understand as a fan, you sad and yada, yada, yada. But most of this has got to do with trash talk and whatnot. Trash talk don't bother me. So, you know what I'm saying? Shit, my day is the same, regardless if I get people talking shit or not. So trash talk, I just got to a space where that just doesn't bother me. But to the Raven fans who are about to have a long day, a long weekend, long year, listen, I don't know if this is going to make it better. You might want to, because I'm a fair man. I done been fair on the channel from day one. Now, I know it's going to be some Josh Allen fans who try to watch this show after watching the last show, after have never watching a show. Bro, you don't have to leave no type of comment saying, oh, yeah, you was fair on Lamar, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I done always been fair on all these quarterbacks. You just chose to watch the show where I finally decided to critique Josh Allen. All right? So, You can keep your comments to yourself if you've never watched the show and you think to yourself, oh, I watched that last show, so I'm gonna watch this show. And you make some grand make some grand correlation as to what you feel like, you know, how I judge quarterbacks and whatnot. Listen, I'm gonna have to go in on Lamar. So if you're a Raven fan, if you love Lamar, and I love Lamar, you know how I feel about Lamar Jackson. But listen, like I said about Josh Allen, if you can't beat Pat Mahomes now, I don't know when you'll have an opportunity to beat him. Now, it's a little bit different in a slight bit of Lamar don't have an all-pro receiver yet. So let's say Zay Flowers become an all-pro next year. Yeah, maybe you extend the window or whatever. However, as far as right now, as teams currently constructed, if you cannot beat Pat Mahomes with Pat Mahomes is not playing with his best core. I would say last year's core is better than this year's core. And he just went into Buffalo. He went into Baltimore. And I'm imagining he gonna go into the Super Bowl in Vegas and win also. Like, listen, it's exactly why I said playing at home, the home field event, that shit does not matter. Now, it's funny to me that a Buffalo fan, I'm imagining he is, he commented on the video and said, this is why I don't listen to these takes. I don't understand how you saw a video or a show and didn't like the takes. The only way you could not like my take is if it's just one of them out there takes, which I rarely have a crazy take, or if you just don't like what I said about a player that you root for or a team that you root for. Cause I ain't said nothing that haven't been true or that I can just prove off of watching the tape. However, I'm imagining you're going to like what I say about Lamar Jackson, even though what I'm about to say about Lamar Jackson is basically exactly what I said about Josh Allen. Now, I think that's funny that you don't like the message when it's delivered against a player that you like, but you enjoy it when it's on a player that you don't like or that you root against. That's odd. Maybe you should check your own stupidity at the door. However, listen, Pat Mahomes has had far better cast than what he just had. And I get it. I get it. And you're not going to see me go in on the Baltimore defense in this video because I think Baltimore did their job. I understand the defense. I understand that they gave up that last play at the end of the game. And that's a terrible way to give up a third down on that play. But at the end of the day, they did exactly what you need your defense to go out there and do to the Chiefs in the second half of that game. They gave up nothing to the Chiefs in the second half. They gave Baltimore's offense every single opportunity to win this game. And Baltimore didn't capitalize, the offense. So this ain't on. Yeah, I know people, like I said about Josh Allen, bro, I'm not blaming this on Stephon Diggs and all this. No. This is on Lamar Jackson. Because it was plays to be made that Lamar did not make. Look at the bad plays that Lamar made. When you look at the totality of this game, if Lamar played better, they win this game. It's no two ways around it. And this is another thing. You know, so many times we get caught up in these gaudy stats and the gaudy numbers and yada, yada, yada. And that's how people dictate how good somebody play a game. Once players realize and once fans realize, none of that shit matters, bro. None of that matters. At one point in time in this game, Lamar Jackson, his throws were for far more yards than Pat Mahomes' average yards to throw. Did it matter at the end of the game? No. This is why I keep saying, bro, when you use stats to try to determine how great a player is, how great a team is, it's going to fall flat. I told you in the prediction video, Baltimore's defense being as great as it does not matter. Pat Mahomes was going to figure it out. Excuse me. Pat Mahomes seemed to have figured it out in the first half, but he had nothing for this defense in the second half until he needed to make a play the most. And he ended up making that play. Now, listen, there's going to be Lamar Jackson fans out there who are going to be mad at me because they're going to be like, well, what about Zay and what about the mistakes he made? Look, I'm going to get to those. But at the end of the day, before that Zay drive happened, there's other plays in this game that could be made. Listen, if you want to split out blame pie, I don't like doing that, bro. I'm going to the head of the snake. I understand Tom Monken could have called a better game at points in time. I understand the run. But listen, at the end of the day, if it was all on Lamar's back throughout the season, then it's on his back now. Point blank, period. And it don't matter how good you think you are. If you cannot beat this iteration of Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, you're not going to beat them. Point and simple to me, in my opinion, because I don't see another team being able to put together the receiving core that Joe Burrow and them boys had. My respect for Lamar and Josh Allen is what's not made me put Joe Burrow above them. However, Joe Burrow still made plays in that game, and him and Tom Brady, the only people that have beaten Pat Mahomes in that big game. I don't care how good you think Lamar and Josh Allen are. The fact of the matter is, even though I always say, yes, Joe Burrow done had probably the best receiving core I've seen in recent memory, he still is the quarterback that went in there and was able to beat Pat Mahomes. And it was in Kansas City. That's got to mean something, especially when you consider Pat Mahomes just went into Baltimore and Arrowhead and Buffalo and beat Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. That's gotta mean this dude is the GOAT. I don't care what you say. I do not think I do think Tom Brady could have went in there and beat both of these teams back in his era, but I'm not talking about it right now. This is Pat Mahomes. And I understand the defense, and I done said this every year, the Chiefs make the play. Bro, I don't care how good you think the Chiefs defense is or isn't. When the playoffs roll around, they're going to be great. They do it every year. I don't understand how they keep doing it, but Steve Spagnuolo is a genius. Steve Spagnuolo is also, him and Leslie Frazier is the only two coordinators, defensive coordinators, who I think have a track record of being able to slow down Lamar Jackson. They the only two. Like, if I needed somebody to stop Lamar, I'm going to one of those two defensive coordinators, either Leslie Frazier or Steve Spagnuolo. And more than likely Steve Spagnuolo, because he 4-1 against Lamar Jackson in his career. And listen, Lamar made some good throws. He did. He made some good plays. And I know people want me to, Raven fans are going to want me to, call out other players and whatnot. I know I can already hear people saying, bro, you got to say something about Todd Monken. Listen. Am I happy that Todd Monken did not call his greatest game of the year? No, but that type of shit happens. I tell you all the time. Everybody not going to be perfect all the time. That's why you have Lamar Jackson. Lamar didn't have to be Superman all season. This was the one game you needed him to be Superman, and he couldn't do it. At the end of the day, it was so many opportunities there for Lamar Jackson to win this game. The defense played as perfect a game as you could possibly play in the second half of this game, and Lamar could not capitalize. Now, let me get to Zay Flowers real quick. When Zay made that catch towards the end of the third quarter and I saw him flex and whatnot, I said, oh, my God, bro, please chill out, bro. We finna get called for a time. And we got called for a time. Listen, Zay Flowers going to learn from this. That play, that drive, I literally said while I was watching the game, I said to myself, Zay, why would you pick this game, this moment, this series to be a rookie? You had every opportunity this year to be a rookie, and you chose to conduct yourself in a professional manner. Why would you choose this game, this moment, this drive to decide to act like a rookie, to be undisciplined? Why? Because you kill your team's position. You lose, 15 yards on the unnecessary, on taunting calls? You cannot be okay. And I say this all the time. When you haven't won on the look at the difference between the Ravens and the Chiefs in this game. Look at the unnecessary penalties that the Ravens picked up. The Chiefs penalties came from usually holding or something like that. They didn't come from unnecessary roughness. They didn't come from unsportsmanlike conduct. They didn't come from taunting penalties. The Ravens picked up a penalty for each one of those. That cannot happen when you have never been there. The greats know how to conduct themselves in a different type of manner, bro. If this team didn't have Pat Mahomes, maybe they do get out of line and make some bad plays and whatnot. But now I don't know how Calvin Noy got flagged for the thing he got flagged for. I think that's a ridiculous flag to throw. But aside from that, it does not matter. I said the same thing about Joey Bosa last year in that playoff game. Bruh, y'all not good enough to get called for this many bad penalties that have nothing to do with the play. The Ravens got flagged multiple times, and when you look at this game, listen, it was going to take a miracle for the Ravens to win this game at a certain point in time. I know that's how some people thought to themselves, but really, if the Ravens convert on offense, do what they should have been doing on offense all year. I don't understand going away from the run game the way they went away from it early in the game and just chose to not play. The offense looked, the first half offense, the second half offense, or that late in the third quarter. I don't understand what happened with the offense today, but I'm gonna get to it. However, look at the plays that the Ravens offense. Look at the times that not the Ravens offense. Look at the times the Ravens defense could have got off the field. It was times where they could have got off the field and a stupid penalty to keep them on the field. A stupid penalty to get the team closer. The 3 points that the Chiefs got at the end of the half didn't have to happen if you don't get called for 2 15-plus yard penalties. And I understand the Chiefs got called for 2 penalties that pushed them back also, but you already shot yourself in the foot. And then when you look at the Ravens offense you chose the wrong game, the wrong moment to have your worst performance on offense. And this is one of the reasons I was fearful of the Mark Andrews coming back. Why bring Mark Andrews back and your offense is clicking? Isaiah likely having a split time with because I knew Todd Monken wasn't going to have a 2 tight end type of offense set up this quick. He hadn't had that all year. So why would he have it now that he knew how good one of his tight ends were and the other one is? He didn't have that all year. That's something that he would put in next year. To not let Isaiah Likely play the majority of these snaps and be the difference maker. Now, I do think Isaiah Likely is going to have to eventually become a better route runner. You can't survive off of just being an athletic guy like he is. But at some point in time, the Ravens, if they're going to lose one of the two. It's going to be as simple as that. But at some point in time, you're going to have to get better at route running if you're Isaiah Likely. But this ain't on Isaiah Likely. Lamar becoming, and I don't want to say he became a one-read quarterback because he didn't become a one-read quarterback, but it's just something about having Mark Andrews in the game. I just don't think Mark Andrews needed to be in this game. If he was healthy for the Super Bowl, that's a completely different story. I just don't feel like you want to change things up when you go up against the Chiefs. Just do what you've been doing to get you here. It was plays in this game that if Lamar Jackson makes those plays, it's a completely different game. You look at the drive that Zay Flowers, and I understand how bad that drive was. I get it. But your defense gets a stop. You come back out there on the field and Lamar Jackson throw an interception. You can't throw that ball into triple. It's 4 dudes covering Isaiah Likely. I understand some people will say, oh, well, it was a pass interference. I don't think it was a pass interference. And even if you do think it was a pass interference, bro, it's 4 fucking Chiefs in that vicinity. If the ref threw a flag to bail Lamar out on a throw that egregious, bro, that's one of them throws you see rookie quarterbacks or Jared Goff or somebody chuck to the, like, bro, no, you should not be bailed out when you throw that type of an egregious pass. And I don't know why it felt like Lamar and them boys was pressing in that moment anyways, but also, you got to stop trusting guys who throw their hands up because some of these dudes do not be. Isaiah Likely threw his hands up and there's 4 dudes around him. Like, that's just not a football that should be thrown at all. It was plays underneath that Lamar could have took. He chose not to. This offense not wanting to move off of being a big play offense and just take the plays that's there, it killed him. The drive where you come back out and you feel like you moving the ball up and down the field with throwing it to the running back. That drive stalls out. Every opportunity that the offense had to win this game, they failed. It's simple as that. I'm not blaming this on the defense. And listen, because there's going to be a lot of people who go at Zay, but I don't really want people going at Zay because he is still a rookie at the end of the day. I mean, I understand he chose the worst moment to be a rookie because not only do you kill your team with that, but then you about to get a touchdown to make this a 3-point game and you fumble the ball in the end zone. The second week in a row, the Chiefs. I'm going to tell you something. A dynasty got to have some things fall their way in order to remain a dynasty. And having a fumble in the end zone like that is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I know some people don't like the fumble in the end zone rule when it goes out the back of the end zone. And I'm a little indifferent. I think that's a dumbass rule also. This was not that. He fumbled that and the Chiefs hopped on it in the end zone. So that's fair game. The fumble where the dude fumbled the ball and they go out the back of the end zone, neither team get it, but the defense get the ball. Like, I think that's a stupid ass rule. The offense should probably be backed up like 15 yards or something, but I do not think that the defense should just get the ball. They didn't recover this shit. So I'm at the point where I do think that's a stupid ass rule. This was not that though. And I understand how bad Zay must feel because you get that stupid ass taunting penalty. And that's really what you should feel bad about. To me, you should feel more bad about the taunting penalty than you should about fumbling the touchdown, because you fumbling that touchdown, that can happen to anybody. You was trying to make a play. I don't like fumbling in that moment. I think you should understand that moment and you should not do something where you don't feel as though you can keep your hands on the ball, but you're not thinking to yourself when you're trying to make that type of play that I'm going to fumble the ball. However, that taunting penalty didn't have to happen. It didn't. That's the type of boneheaded play you just cannot make. You cannot make that type of mistake when the stakes is this high going up against who you listen. I get it. This ain't Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, and all them other NFC quarterbacks on the other side of the ball. I get it. I was always told that Michael Jordan kept certain guys from winning championships. And maybe that's just the reality if you Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Maybe that's the reality. I don't know. But I cannot. Listen, at the end of the day, you play against Pat Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl. I can't judge you on this curve. I understand I do kind of judge you on a curve because I know you better than them dudes in the NFC. And I'm not taking nothing away from y'all great. It sucks. It sucks if you have to see Brock Purdy, a Jared Goff, a Dak Prescott, somebody like that win a Super Bowl when you know they are not better than the three quarterbacks I just named. Here's the problem. They don't have to play against Pat Mahomes to get to a Super Bowl. They just got to outplay him in that one game to beat him in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately for you, if you are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, what you done figured out, if you all three of them, is either you lose to him and you don't get there, or you beat him and you still lose when you get there, meaning it meant nothing when we beat him. It's unfortunate. I understand it. I get it. That's why I'm not as hard on those three, because I get it. You have to play against Pat Mahomes. It's fucked up, but it's just the reality. And as long as that's the reality, I got to judge I have to judge based off of what I see. And the fact of the matter is Lamar Jackson could have been better if he wanted to win this game. And I get it. Listen, I get it. I told you in that Josh Allen video, Josh Allen still got time to become a great. The only way Josh Allen's playoff window or Super Bowl window is closed is if the team just stopped building around him. It's still things that you can do to go out there and beat Pat Mahomes. Listen, the Ravens can add a receiver and whatnot to help take this to even the next level. You're now going to be in your second year of this offense. I'm going to keep telling y'all defenses don't matter. I understand how great Baltimore's defense was, and Baltimore's defense was legendary this year. At the end of the day, it didn't matter. They still gave up that last play, and as great as they played throughout the entire game, what matters most is being able to put points on the board, and the offense could not do that. They held Pat Mahomes to 17 points. And the offense, I think this was their lowest outing of the year. They could not put points on the board. So, and I understand some people will say, well, obviously for the Chiefs, the defense did matter. You're right. You got me. For the Chiefs defense, they made the key plays when the key plays needed to be made. However, they still had to score points also, and Pat Mahomes was able to score enough points in order to win the game. Plus, Pat Mahomes made the key plays in that game to keep them on the field or get them points or to seal the game. Things that the Baltimore offense was not able to do. And the Chiefs also got a fumble recovery on Lamar Jackson, a forced fumble in the recovery. The Baltimore defense had a great year. It was a great year. You did a lot of great things this year. I'm taking nothing away from the Baltimore defense. But at the end of the day, the offense that you needed to be great when it mattered the most, it wasn't. And who was the quarterback? Who was the head of that snake? Lamar Jackson. Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Lamar's unanimous MVP. I'm not taking nothing away from his MVP. The two-time MVP. He already a Hall of Famer. However, hell, you might think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, it don't matter how you feel about them. At the end of the day, the measuring stick It's Pat Mahomes. And listen, maybe they're just going to have to be in an era where they never win because Pat Mahomes. But it is what it is. You have to be able to play above and the saddest part for them. Well, I don't think it's a sad part. People are going to use this as a thing like, oh, well, Lamar was the favorite to win this game and he lost. Bro, Joe Burrow was the favorite to beat Pat Mahomes the second time and they lost. So, like, bro, being the favorite and all that, like I said before, bro, all that extra stuff that outside the field, like, oh, being the favorites, playing at home, none of that shit matters, bro. Like, at some point in time, y'all going to have to listen to me when I say that. None of that shit matters, bro. The thing that's going to kill all three of these quarterbacks is knowing that they couldn't get past Pat Mahomes. I feel bad for Joe Burrow because he was able to get past Pat Mahomes and not win the ultimate goal. You don't know if you ever get past this dude again. Look at what he is going out there with. And he still just got to a Super Bowl again. It makes no sense, bro. At this point, what you're doing at Pat Mahomes is hoping that he just drastically fall off. You're hoping he get hurt, or you're just hoping that like every single piece of talent that he could possibly have on offense and defense is gone and it's just him over there. Like you praying for the worst if you are not a Chiefs fan at this point, or if you don't like greatness, because what Pat Mahomes doing at this point in time, it's just unreal. And I understand people will be like, well, Pat Mahomes didn't really have a great game. This was more the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs did have a phenomenal game plan in this game. I do not think, though, that the Chiefs defense was as big as some of the plays that Pat Mahomes had to make because the Ravens did a lot of things to beat themselves in this game also. The bad play calling, the not converting plays where it's plays to be made. Lamar Jackson just wanted to take the big shot. The bad interception, the fumble in the red zone, the taunting penalty, unnecessary roughness penalties, the whole, like, it was a lot of different things that I think the Ravens, and I'm not taking nothing away from the Chiefs defense, because the Chiefs defense play any worse or don't have the game that they had, they lose this game. I completely understand that. However, in my opinion, I think this come back down to, once again, being able to make the big plays by Pat Mahomes. Listen, maybe I'm just biased because I think Pat Mahomes is the end all be all. But as I was watching this game, I also said to myself, do I think that the Chiefs will be able to do the things they done over these last couple of years? If not, you have to have a leader that you believe in, bro. Not even just believe in, bro. Like the Ravens believe in Lamar. They believe in his greatness. The Chiefs players know if we get a stop. We don't believe in his greatness. We know for a guarantee his greatness will come through. It's just a different level of great, my guys. Listen, Pat Mahomes. I understand when we think about Josh Allen, when we think about Lamar Jackson, we say we think they can do it one day. You put everything around them, the perfect thing can swing their way. We think they can do it. Joe Burrow done got to the promised land. He didn't finish the job, but now you think, yeah, he could do it again. The Chiefs know Pat Mahomes can do it. Listen, I told you, the people who were saying, oh, we need Lamar to do this because we need to, I told y'all worried about the wrong thing. If you watch this Chiefs team and what you concerned about is Taylor Swift being on screen every time something good happened for Kelsey, you're just not watching these games. You're letting your unnecessary hate for something that does not matter blind you from what's really going on with the Chiefs. Playoff Mahomes, playoffs Andy Reid is just a different animal. It's just a different animal. And I'm going to be honest with you. Andy Reid didn't scheme his ass off. Like I said, Mike McDonald did his job in the second half. He outwitted Andy Reid. He out-schemed Andy Reid in the second half. You want to know who didn't out-scheme Steve Spagnuolo? Todd Monken. Now, listen, it's not all bad for Baltimore. If you rock with Baltimore like I do, it's not all bad. Listen, you got to accept the reality that as great as Lamar Jackson is, maybe I'm not going to say he's not that guy because I didn't say that about Josh Allen, but the fact that neither of these two could beat Pat Mahomes at home Both of them at their respective, and I understand I keep saying that home don't matter. I'm saying home don't matter against Mahomes. Mahomes playing in your building, his building, it don't make a fucking difference. Home should have mattered for Lamar and Josh Allen, because that's an advantage that you're not going to get all the time against Pat Mahomes on a normal year. You got that this year. If you Josh Allen, you probably never going to get that opportunity, seeing as how you was relying on Pat Mahomes and them boys to be bad, and you didn't win out the AFC. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I have no doubt, could end up winning first place in the AFC again. However, now you know for a fact that does not matter. Now, I'm going to tell you what I do like about Pat Mahomes. Because Pat Mahomes turning these boys into some absolute animals. All right? By the time it's all said and done, because I do believe Lamar, Burrow, and Allen will all end up winning the Super Bowl. I do believe they will end up finally getting one. However, I don't think none of them will get more than one against Pat Mahomes while he playing. And I'm going to tell you why. For one, I just don't think none of them is as great as Pat Mahomes. My gap between Pat Mahomes and everybody else now has just grown even more. Because everything that make a great quarterback, or just not even just a great quarterback, bro. I really think we witnessing a Michael Jordan. Like, we never got to see Michael Jordan if you my age. This is a Michael Jordan. This have to be what they was talking about with Michael Jordan. It have to be. What this man is going out there doing for his team and for this city, bro, it's like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, this, and listen, the fact that he is doing it with, people thought he would stop winning when he lost Tyreek Hill. The man is back in 2 Super Bowls since losing Tyreek Hill and has already won 1. And I imagine he is about to win another one. Meaning this man will have 3 Super Bowl trophies before he is 30 years old. And will probably have 3 Super Bowl MVPs also. That is nobody's resume. He is not not Lamar, not Allen, not Joe Burrow is chasing Pat Mahomes at this point. They chasing their own things at this point. It's like I say about the people in the NBA. I don't know how you could be chasing Steph Curry or LeBron James. To me, those are 2 Mount Rushmore players. Like, they not chasing nobody in the NBA. They chasing their own different type of things. At this point, Pat Mahomes is only chasing Brady. And it's foolish to say anybody could be chasing Pat Mahomes at this point, because do you know how hard it is to win 3 fucking Super Bowls? To win 1. Pat might end up with 3. And he's still going strong. And I understand the weapons around him could change and yada, yada, yada. The dude remains the rising tide. And listen. I'm taking nothing away from Lamar Jackson. I'm taking nothing away from from Josh Allen. I still believe those 2 guys to be 2 and 3 as the best quarterbacks in the league. I still believe that they are the rising tide for their teams. However, they ain't Pat Mahomes. And what they done proven to me is that they can't beat Pat Mahomes when it mattered the most. Now, I know some Bengal fans will like this. This is where they slide in and be like, Joe Burrow done beat them. Yeah, bro, I keep telling y'all, before this loss, I keep telling y'all, it does not matter how many times y'all tell me that. Y'all boys had Boyd, Chase, Higgins, Mixon, a decent tight end. You give that to Allen, Lamar, or Burrow, I imagine you would finally be able to beat a Pat Mahomes with that type of weaponry, because that is overwhelming for a defense. That's not having to guard 1 good receiver, a good tight end. That's legitimately playing against 3 number 1s. It's not a defense on God's green earth that can stop 3 number 1s that's all healthy playing at their best. That's just impossible to do. The second time around, they almost won again because of that. I'm not giving Joe Burrow. I respect that he did still make the plays to win it, but I'm not putting him over Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I can't do it. Now, I tell you what I can do. Let the playoffs roll around next year and Joe Burrow beat Pat Mahomes. I don't care who he got at receiver. I will easily put him as the second best quarterback in football. But right now, I can't do that because I still think bro, when I remember that game. And yes, Pat Mahomes didn't make some plays in that game. It was one of the few games Pat Mahomes only lost in the playoffs 3 times. Twice to Brady, once to Burrow. So Burrow, if you a Bengal fan, you know, if you want that to be your shining star for your franchise and, you know, for your time as a Bengal fan, cool. I'm not here to knock that off for you. But in my opinion, neither Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen should feel good right now. Pat Mahomes is only getting better. He only getting better. And I understand Lamar can throw. I understand he can run. So can Josh Allen. I understand they really dual threats. I understand they both is the rising tide for their teams. But clearly they don't get them boats as high as Pat Mahomes get them boats. And I'm going to tell you another difference. The Chiefs defense don't got the players on it that the Ravens have. But you see how great they played? Because going back to it again, when you know you have that guy on the other side of the football, that, man, all I got to do is sell out to make this one play. If I sell out to make this one play, I know all my efforts will be rewarded because Pat Mahomes will reward it. It's just different when you get to play with a dude like that. I truly believe that Pat Mahomes is the greatest player to ever play in the NFL. I don't think I have ever seen a dude sway the odds of a team's chances to win. Not just win, bro. To win on the biggest stage, bro. We done seen multiple great players, great teams, great organizations be in these moments. Never like this. Never this many times in a row. Now, and I don't like that, you know, Nick Wright gonna have an opportunity to talk a lot of shit. And, you know, a lot of these moronic ass fans. And there's gonna be some people that lose faith in Lamar Jackson and whatnot. I didn't lose faith in Lamar, just like I haven't lost faith in Josh Allen. But the reality is, just like after that game, I said it was plays that Josh Allen could have made, bro. You cannot come out here and just keep making excuses for Josh Allen. I promise you they will not make excuses for Lamar Jackson tomorrow. If Josh Allen fans couldn't see that was the whole purpose of the video, God bless you. At the end of the day, though, they will come out tomorrow and tell you everything that I'm telling you that Lamar could have done better. They gonna tell you the same thing. Everything I told you that Josh Allen could have done better, they didn't tell you that. They told you he played a perfect game. It's easy to see that Lamar didn't play a perfect game, but for some reason it was hard to see Josh Allen didn't. At the end of the day, both of the highlights of their careers is losing to Pat Mahomes at home in the playoffs in the AFC Championship game now. So, listen, do I still believe Lamar Jackson could go out there and win a Super Bowl one day? Absolutely. I think Josh Allen can do it, and I think Joe Burrow can do it. But it's going to be tough. And it's going to be tougher now than ever because I do hate that these three dudes have to play in the AFC against Pat Mahomes. I hate it because but this is the question that you got to ask yourself. Would you rather lose to him in the Super Bowl or lose to him in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl? I would rather lose to this motherfucker in the playoffs because I don't want to lose in the Super Bowl at all. If you can't beat Pat Mahomes right now, because essentially what I'm saying is the only thing stopping Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow from collecting a bunch of trips to the Super Bowl is the fact that they play in a far tougher conference. That don't mean you get there and win, because if you take those three quarterbacks and put them in the NFC, Pat Mahomes is not getting stopped from going to the Super Bowl. Hell, you can't stop Pat Mahomes from going to the Super Bowl right now. He got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. All these walking hitmen is walking around, and he the strongest mercenary of them all. This is John Wick killing however many motherfuckers he killed in that couple days span, bro. Like that's who Pat Mahomes is. He Robert McCall, bro. He John Wick. He the Terminator. Like whatever you think, this dude is him. Like I said, bro, it is no bigger him in the NFL than Pat Mahomes. It's just not. It's not. And it was plays to be made in this game. I keep saying it. It was plays that Lamar and listen, maybe Lamar learned from this, but I'm not gonna bank on it for the simple reason to have Josh Allen. Matter of fact, let me flip that. It's not that he can't learn from this. Will learning from it really make a difference? Josh Allen, I'm pretty sure done learned from all his losses to Pat Mahomes. He still keep losing to him. I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson will learn from this loss to Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes could still, and I told you, it doesn't matter how great you think things are going for you. When you got to play against number 15 in the playoffs, bruh, that wear that red, white, and whatever you want to call it, gold or yellow, whatever color that is for them, mustard. It's just a different type of animal. Pat Mahomes with an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl. That defense knowing, bro, we are an extension of Pat Mahomes. If we do what we need to do right here, this motherfucker's about to get us in the Super Bowl. And they did what they needed to do. Plain and simple, bro. I know. If you are a Raven fan, if you're a Bill fan, I know it hurt. You saying, man, we was at home and we lost to this motherfucker. Listen, that's the way the game goes. I didn't do my research, so I don't know if Michael Jordan, how many legends he stopped from winning the championship. But I know the 3 legends that Pat Mahomes stopping from winning the Super Bowl. Because Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow are all going to make the Hall of Fame one day. And maybe Justin Herbert and C.J. Stroud and some other guys make it one day. But a lot of them could be sitting in the thing without Super Bowls. Because when the man comes around, my guy, when the fucking man comes around, my guy, Pat Mahomes is just a different type of animal. A different type of beast. I told you before this game happened. And maybe that's why I'm not sad, because I understand what I'm watching when I watch Pat Mahomes. I understand. Bro, y'all should have seen how nervous the kid was before the game, shorty. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. I didn't settle down till Lamar threw that touchdown to Zay. Like, the kid's hands was shaking and shit. I didn't know what to do. But listen, you know what? Because I love the flock, I love y'all guys, and y'all rocked with me all season. I'm going to do something for y'all, man. I'm going to give y'all hope. I'm going to give you hope, because it's not all bad. I don't want to leave y'all the way I left Bill fans, even though I feel like I still, it doesn't matter. Because I am a part of the flock, and I don't want y'all to think just because Saint not in his feelings and yada, 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 that he don't care enough. No, Saint can't be in his feelings and whatnot. I can't be depressed and whatnot, or I'm not going to be able to be objective and unbiased about talking about the show. If I'm pissed off about us losing, then that means I'm going to say some stupid shit about Pat Mahomes and not give him this credit. I just can't do that. I understand that this is sports, bro. This is what happens. One of the reasons I've said and I'm able to talk about this in such an unbiased manner is because my heart and whatnot done been torn apart from it. Like, I understand how much I love Lamar and how much I love players and how much I want the Ravens to succeed. When they fail, I've seen them fail a million times. I can't just, my love for the player make me feel bad for what the player going to have to go through. It doesn't change my day though. Like, especially, you know what? Let me change that. Maybe if we had a loss to the Bills or something. But I told you from the beginning, I wanted to play Pat Mahomes because I know what Pat Mahomes represents. If I knew what he represented, you have to know that I knew coming into this game, losing to Pat is a real thing that could have happened. I never came into this game saying to myself, we can't lose to this team just because of everything we got going for it. That's stupid. You're playing against Patrick Mahomes. I don't think some people understand it. And maybe people think it's hyperbole, or I thought, oh, maybe I'm overhyping Pat Mahomes. But I just personally, what a dumb fucking throw by Brock Purdy. But I'm just under the impression, or just off of, not under the impression, off of what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, I just don't think that there is a better player than Pat Mahomes. I done looked at all of them. I done seen how they move the needle. The Ed Reeds, the Ray Lewises, the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, the Aaron Rodgers. Pat Mahomes is fucking different. I don't know if Pat Mahomes' heart beats, but like, he don't breathe different. He don't see pressure different. When you look at, bro, this is the final bosses of all final bosses, bro. And congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I can't imagine what it's like to have a quarterback on that level. Like only another team can, and that's the Patriots. But my God. I mean, this dude's unreal. the way he will constantly find a way to will his team. I'm impressed with the defense too. I'm gonna be honest. When I look, one day when my kids say, Pops, what was some of the greatest defenses you ever got to watch? Or what was some of the greatest coach defenses you ever got to watch? I'm going to bring up Steve Spagnuolo's defenses in the playoffs with the Chiefs. We always talk about how disciplined the Patriots defense was under Bill Belichick. Look at how great this defense has been under Steve Spagnuolo. You don't have to worry about dudes getting out of their elements, making bad plays mentally. You don't have to worry about dudes losing themselves the game off of bad errors mentally. You might get called for holding here or there. You might make a bad play in coverage here or there. But you don't have to worry about the Chiefs defense beating themselves through bad penalties like unnecessary roughness or just bad calls from taunting and things like that. That's the difference, man. People don't think about that, People just think about the talent on the field. But when you get to this type of level, when you playing this type of team like the Chiefs, like a quarterback like Pat Mahomes, bro, everything matters, bro. It's, you make some of these boneheaded decisions and you don't even think at the end of the day, these going to play a big impact on the game because of where we at or because every second mattered in that game. And so now you go back, if you're a Ravens defense and you say to yourself, look at all the times we could have got off the field and we stayed on for an extra 2 minutes or extra 30 seconds. Time that we could have used at the end of this game, but we didn't get it because of bad mistakes by us. And I don't think that the Ravens should panic or anything like that going into the offseason. You have a great team. You have a team that I still believe can go in and beat Pat Mahomes. The biggest problem with this game is Pat Mahomes just might be in Lamar Jackson's head like he is the Chiefs' head. Like he is the Bills' head. You made uncharacteristic decisions in this game. You made uncharacteristic mistakes in this game. Nobody done found a way to get Lamar Jackson to turn his ball over in God knows how long. And he found ways to turn it over in this game. That's the Chiefs being in the head of Lamar Jackson at this point in time. And I really believe it's the Pat Mahomes effect. You think to yourself, I have to be perfect because how many times can I come off this field without points and Pat Mahomes not end up scoring some points? That's what you end up thinking. And so you get ahead of yourself. You start to play yourself. You start to rush yourself. You start to do things that's uncharacteristic. And I think the Ravens offense had that. Look at how many times they went away from a legitimate run game that worked all season that they chose not to play in this year, in this game. Look at and to me, one of the things that you always saw Todd Monken do is when his receivers are not just going out there and winning their matchups, he play off of that run game and then open up the pass. He didn't do too much of that this game. So listen. To leave you with something positive if you're a Raven fan because you rocked with me all this season, I don't want you leaving on a negative note. The positive for you is this. The Ravens can still go out there and put more talent around Lamar Jackson. Because you believe Lamar is still going to be the great player that he is. I know people going to want to try to say his MVP don't matter. Indeed, it does. That's still a 2-time MVP quarterback you have. So what you have to tell yourself is, maybe we do have the second best quarterback in the league, but we know we don't have the best quarterback in the league. And the best quarterback in the league is Pat Mahomes. So what do we have to do to get past him? You know you can get here now. What do you have to do to get past Pat Mahomes? And I'm going to be honest with you. If the Ravens want to get past Pat Mahomes, I truly believe you have to go all in now on the offense. You've now seen that your defense is good enough. You've now seen that you have pieces in the defense that will be there for a while. You don't have to worry about continuing this. To me, if you are the Baltimore Ravens, you have to go all in on the offense now. And I understand Lamar Jackson make a lot of money. I understand that. But if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you look at this game and you say to yourself, why did we not win this game? We couldn't be explosive on offense. Now, and you had explosive plays on offense. But you never could get it going all the way on offense. Now, to me, Baltimore don't need to be listening to everything that the reporters say in the offseason. There's a lot of reporters who don't like Lamar Jackson who are going to double down on stupid now because they were just waiting for Lamar Jackson to lose, like the Bills fan who waited for the Ravens to lose to send me that comment on here because I know he wouldn't have sent me that if the Ravens had won. I think that's very ignorant of people. Like, I'm the same person, win or lose. I think it's very funny that fans try to. You know what's funny? Now, if you watch me all the time, you know I remain the same type of motherfucker. I'm the same way in a win as I am in loss. I take it all in stride. I think it's funny looking at the fans who constantly think that I'm going to change up Like the fans who don't watch the show regularly, so they think they can say something to me that's going to make me change up based off of the results. No. One of the things we do over here is break down the games in a way that the results don't shock me. I tell you everything that I believe could possibly happen in this game. I look at it in and out. I at no point in time thought the Ravens wasn't going to win this game. If I wasn't a Ravens fan, I would have picked the Chiefs to win the game because I don't like betting against Pat Mahomes. You seeing why? I mean, do we really realize what we're watching right now? It's a reason I never jumped on that bandwagon of shitting on Pat Mahomes and them boys throughout the season, because I told you when it mattered the most, they're going to come through. They're going to make it happen. They're going to figure it out. That's exactly what they did. I'm not a short-sighted person. I can see the greatness and the brilliance in a Josh Allen and a Lamar Jackson and a Joe Burrow and everybody around, and at the same time understand what is going on with Pat Mahomes right now. I understand people gonna hate Pat Mahomes like they hated Brady. Because he gonna make a lot of fan bases sad. He gonna crush a lot of dreams. He gonna have dudes walking into the Hall of Fame with less accolades than they can have because he exists. But I truly think this is what should make a team better. The Ravens can go add better running back help in the offseason. It'll be a second year in Todd Monken's system. They can figure out how to use Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely in the same system, even though I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like Isaiah Likely in this system more than I do Andrews because he's the more athletic tight end and he is the more explosive tight end. The only difference between the two is Lamar Jackson trusts Mark Andrews more. But Mark Andrews, to me, does not do for an offense what Isaiah Likely, if he is in this system for a second year as the main guy, could do for this offense. But I know they're not going to switch out Likely for Mark Andrews. So the best thing you can hope is that Isaiah Likely play, that they figure out how to run a 2 tight end set. But if you're the Ravens, listen, Odell Beckham was good. He had stretches. You can get better at the receiving position. You can bring in somebody. And to be honest with you, as bad as that drive was for Zay, and I know he's going to be thinking about that all offseason, you got a number 1 receiver in Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers did for you. Zay Flowers in his second year, I imagine, is going to be way better next year than he was this year. And he was damn good this year. Zay Flowers, if anything, showed you in that game, I can be the number 1 guy for Lamar. But however, the difference is you need guys, because at this point, I'm just understanding that Lamar Jackson is just not going to be a check down quarterback. It's not going to happen. And maybe that's what need to happen for him to get over that next hump. But the Ravens, from what I'm seeing right now, because of how Lamar Jackson is a vertical passer of the football, he don't really do that to the side pass and shit. They more so want to throw the ball up and down the hash marks. They are not trying to go side to side. They're trying to go up and down the field. At this very moment, I truly believe, and to me, that's what the beauty in Isaiah Likely is, because he is a vertical threat type of a tight end. To me, if you're the Ravens, Gus Edwards can be replaced with a more dynamic. Look at Jahmyr Gibbs or the running backs that, because I like both running backs for Detroit more than I like the running backs for Baltimore. To me, you got Keaton Mitchell. So you know what? If he healthy next year, you straight on that. But I really think that the receiving core can get even better. I think Baltimore just saw what the receiving core can do. Look at how far you got on your first year getting Lamar Jackson weapons. Now, Buffalo fans, I'm finna piss you off. Josh Allen has always, he done had Stephon Diggs for a while. They now in the back end. So you're not looking at yourself the same way Josh Allen and them boys looking at themselves saying, oh man, we might have failed because this might have been our last opportunity, even though I don't believe that. For the Ravens, you saying this was our first year of Monken, our first year with Zay. We go out and get Lamar another weapon. See, This is the thing that Dak and them keep doing, that I keep saying I don't know what else they can do for Dak. The Ravens have not got to that point yet, whereas what else can we do for Lamar? It's still a lot that you can do for Lamar. It ain't much else you can do for Dak because you keep putting all pro level players around him. Lamar Jackson ain't got no all pro around him. Mark Andrews is an all pro on, when he healthy, but I done told you, I like what Isaiah bring to the offense more than Mark. You get him a legitimate receiving core now. You got Isaiah. I mean, you already have Zay. You go out and get him another top tier receiver. You go ahead and bite the bullet and pay the price for that. I'm telling you, maybe that's what it's going to take for you to get past Pat Mahomes. Because I don't care what nobody say. It's not going to take defense to get past Pat Mahomes. It's going to take being able to go out there and put up the points. At the end of the day, if the Ravens had a score, Pat Mahomes would have found a way to get his team in the end zone again. And the Ravens would have had to find a way to score again. Burrow and the Bengals knew that they had three dudes who they could rely on that was top tier number one receivers who made a difference. It was just too tough to defend, and Joe Burrow knew if I don't turn the ball over and I put the ball where it's supposed to be, we can win this game because our defense will do what they need to do, but more importantly, we'll be able to score points. The Ravens have to look at this and say to themselves, because you don't get this opportunity all the time, so you need to be good at evaluating what just went wrong in this game. And to me, it's very easy. The offense. And in the one game of the season where Lamar Jackson couldn't rise above everything else, this is where you needed the offensive weapons to have that game. You didn't have enough. Zay Flowers played great and still had bad moments in this game. So what do you do next year? I don't think you should be worried about the defense. Mike McDonald will be back. If he not, you still have to believe the defensive philosophy will be what it is. I have faith in the defense. You have to get better on offense. And when I say you got to get better, you got to add. It's no such thing as having too much talent on offense. If you have, the more talent you have, the more difficult it is to defend you. Lamar Jackson will probably always be one of the top 2 or 3 threats on the Baltimore Ravens. That's just the reality of the game. He is that type of athlete. He is that type of player. However, imagine what you do. And listen, you play under different rules than Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes don't need all this talent to be able to go and do what he need to do. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow do. I hate to say it, and that's not me diminishing the greatness of them three. It's just me understanding that you can't keep waiting around trying to figure out how to get past Pat Mahomes. You have to go and make the odds against Pat Mahomes even greater. At the end of the day, the defense knew, as great as Lamar is, we still have to stop him. And yes, Zay Flower. And I really think they killed themselves with that Mark Andrews shit. However, if you the Ravens, I think you have to go out and add either another top tier running back threat, because you can't keep doing this running back carousel every year. It would be great for Lamar Jackson to have a running back he could depend on every game. I know people are going to say Gus Edwards had this many touchdowns. All those was red zone touchdowns. I said it all year. He had a lot of touchdowns he didn't deserve. But to me, you go get an explosive back out of the backfield. You go get another weapon for Zay Flower, because all teams going to do now is double Zay, or going to put a lot of coverage over the top to defend, get Zay. Bracket coverages on Zay. High-low double coverages on Zay. That's the only thing that's going to happen now. So if you are the Baltimore Ravens and you want to try to get as much as you can out of this offense as quickly as you can while Zay is on a rookie contract, you got to go out and get another weapon. Whether it be trading up in a draft or using a draft pick to go up and get a top tier weapon, whether it be trading for a weapon in the free agency market or signing somebody, you need to go get you another weapon. I truly think it needs to be on the level of an Amari Cooper or somebody like that. Mike Evans. Another weapon is the only, listen, Ravens fans, Bengal fans, Bills fans, don't hate me. Understand this. Tom Brady had to go and get the type of weapons he needed around him in order to get past Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Every time somebody done beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, they had top tier weapons on the outsides. Look at who Tom Brady had to work with in Tampa Bay. Godwin, Mike Evans. Come on now. If you want to beat Pat Mahomes, see, the Ravens just proved that they can beat him, that they can keep the game close enough to make the plays they need to make. But this is the question. Do you keep relying on them to have to make the plays, or do you go get somebody where you know we can get this dude to help make the plays. Lamar don't got to be perfect if we got him. Because you still got to be perfect with Zay Flowers. You can't just be throwing Zay willy-nilly balls because the dude only, 5 foot something. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I go out and try everything I can to bring over another number one receiver. I think that is the difference the Ravens need. You get a legitimate offense with Lamar and 2 number one receivers where he can go. And I'm not necessarily saying number one receivers is in both receivers in their prime. This could be a number one receiver who only got like 2-3 years left in his prime. Keenan Allen would be a great pickup for the Ravens if he can stay healthy because of how he can work the middle of the field. Lamar Jackson don't have a player yet that understand how to sit down in certain zones and coverages to win on those routes every single time. Mark Andrews know how to do it. That's why I said Isaiah likely going to have to get better at running routes. I just still don't think his explosiveness is what Isaiah Likely's is, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it'll be a tough one. It'll be tough to go home. It'll be tough all off season. I know this is going to kill Lamar. I know it's going to kill him. The way he talked, the way he carry himself. I told you at the end of I told y'all at some point in time early in the season when he kept shrugging off everything, saying nothing make him happy because the ultimate goal, he want to win a Super Bowl. And I said it, bro, it's so hard to win a Super Bowl that if you dictate your happiness on only winning that one game, man, you're going to be mad forever. Because unless you Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes, the majority of your career, you don't get that game. You don't get to play in that game and you don't win that game. So I understand this urge, this obsession with Lamar Jackson and winning the Super Bowl. But the same thing I would say is do not lose your happiness in the midst of turning this goal for a Super Bowl into the end all be all. It should be the end all be all, but you cannot, like Josh Allen said after he woke up. The good thing is we all woke up. That's somebody who still got perspective in things. You cannot win Pat Mahomes is not going out there pissed off and not. No. He obsessed with winning. And it might not be fair to use Pat because he done played in so many of these. He done won these. But look at Pat never get tight, bro. You can't play now tight because you say to yourself, we lost to Pat Mahomes at home. We got to get back and win. You can't win this game anymore. You just lost it. Next year, what you do next year cannot correct what you didn't do this year. That's what Lamar and the Ravens going to have to remember. When you forget that, you stunt your own growth. If they can remember that, we can no longer win that game. See, that's one of the things that I think has been hurting the Bengals. They keep thinking they can go. I mean, not the Bengals. That's one of the things that was hurting San Fran and kind of the Bengals to an extent that you think we beat this team before. So all those games play out when they're going to play out the same way when we play them every time now. No, you got to move on. You got to still develop. You still got to still grow. You did not beat the GOAT this time. But Tom Brady still eventually lost. And if you want to be one of those dudes to still get Pat Mahomes at some point in time in your career, you're going to still have to grow. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It is. But you still got to go out there and play with a freedom that don't make you tight because, I can't make no mistake if I want to get back to this moment and beat Pat Mahomes. You'll be back in this moment more than likely. You too damn good of a team, too good of an organization, too great of a quarterback. And that go for Josh Allen and Joe Burrow also. However, you know who's going to be probably standing across from you. That's Pat Mahomes. You're almost certain that's who will be standing across from you from here on out. To me, if the Ravens want to get over that hump, obviously Lamar going to have to make the plays. We all know that these guys are going to have to make plays. But you could do a great service to him. Like I said about Josh Allen, they need to put more talent around him. I think you got to go all out. The only way that we have seen people beat Pat Mahomes is over-stifle his defense with talent to where Pat Mahomes have to either score every drive. Mind you, he still was able. You still can't just have a bad defense out there because he played in the Super Bowl and was. This is why I told you, bro. You had to be prepared if you was the Raven fans for a loss. The Ravens' offensive weaponry is not better than what the Eagles had last year. They just got the better quarterback. And the Chiefs were still able to win that game. It's just different. They are just different. But I do believe that there is a reality where they can, the Ravens and the Bills can still win these games against the Chiefs eventually at some point in time. But you're going to have to stack the deck. You're going to have the talent at this point. You cannot, you can't think you're going to survive off of not having the proper talent anymore. And cost can't be a thing. You're going to have to understand, bro, we need extra talent to be able to pull this shit off this time. And listen, I get it. Some people going to be hurt. We thought it was Lamar's year. That's just how the cookie crumbles. The same way I thought it was his year was the same way in the back of my head I had to understand that maybe it ain't if Pat Mahomes say it ain't. And Pat Mahomes said it wasn't. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs on yet another trip to the Super Bowl. I have no negative words for the Chiefs. I have no negative thoughts for their fan base and nothing like that. Congratulations to Travis Kelce. Congratulations to, super fan Taylor Swift. You're not going to see no bitterness come out of me. Like I said, man, I understand it's hurt for some Raven fans and whatnot. I know it don't seem like I'm hurting. And I'm not hurting, but I guess I'm disappointed. That's what I am. I'm a bit disappointed because I understand you don't get these opportunities all the time. You just don't. But I also understand who the fuck over there on the other side of that football, man. And I understand what I'm looking at when I watch the Kansas City Chiefs, man. That's greatness personified. I'm a Laker fan. I saw my team be better than everybody for a long time. I saw his other fan bases I love Steph Curry, and I saw how the Rockets fan base had to just be miserable every year because they just could not figure out how to get past Steph Curry. I understand sports, man. I understand how it goes. I hope that's not what happened with Lamar. I hope that's not what happened with Josh Allen. I don't really care about Joe Burrow. That's not one of my favorite players. I mean, I don't think it'll happen with Joe, but I fuck with Lamar and Josh Allen. I love those two dudes. I'm not really as big a Joe Burrow fan, but now I know people think I'm going to talk about Joe Burrow in some wicked way. I got no problem with Joe Burrow. Just point that out. He just don't do nothing to make me say, wow, what a player. What a man. Listen, man. Gianni, hold your head, my guy. All your Ravens flock out there, that damn dude, man. Hold your head out there, man. Hold your head. What they say in that Batman movie, the day is darkest before the dawn. Our season is over, so it ain't really no sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gold. It ain't no sunshine coming our way. And listen, I understand nothing I'm saying is gonna matter to a diehard Raven fan. Even though I feel like I'm a diehard Raven fan. But I'm also a realist. And also, come on, bro. I gotta be honest with you. I love what I do. I love talking sports. I can't just be biased because I root for the Ravens. I can't. I'm not gonna separate myself from the team that I root for. But if I'm gonna be fair to the people who watch, the people who listen, I'm incapable of being down in the dumps about this because I done trained myself, bro. Nothing will hurt me the way Billy Cundiff missing that fucking kick will hurt me. And in that moment, I said to myself, I will never let this fucking team get me this high and this low ever again. And then once I realized I wanted to do this for a living, I said to myself, I will never let this team get me as low or as high as I did when Billy Cundiff missed that kick and how we won when we won the Super. Because if I'm gonna be fair, when I became a fan of players, bro, like the same way I would be elated. Okay, no, I would definitely be happier when Lamar finally win one because he ain't won one yet. Just like I would be happy when Josh Allen win one because he ain't won one yet. The way I felt when Pat Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. Actually, I think I was happier when Pat won last year than I was when he won this year, his first year. Yeah, I think I was happy about his second Super Bowl. I wanted him to beat Brady so bad, bruh. I'm going to tell you why I wanted Pat Mahomes to beat Brady. Because I told you, bro, for me, it's all about legacy and whatnot. And I just know how they talk about these legacy things. For Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, for Joe Burrow, bro, I'm sorry. I understand y'all legacy is going to get wicked kind of, well, probably not Joe Burrow, but y'all other two going to have wicked things said about y'all legacies until y'all get to this peak, because clearly these individuals don't realize what the fuck y'all having to go against in a Pat Mahomes. But what I do want to say is this. When it comes to Pat Mahomes, when he played Brady in that Super Bowl, I knew he was never going to get an opportunity to play Brady in another Super Bowl. I knew Brady wasn't making it back to the Super Bowl the year after that. And I also knew that that would be the only opportunity he had in his career to be able to say, I beat Brady at something. Like, I knew if he won this game, if he lost this game, it didn't matter what he did after. People were always going to say, Brady beat you in the Super Bowl. I hated that for him so much, bro. I hated that so much. You know what I'm starting to believe also? I do think I hold Patrick Mahomes. I do think I make more excuses for Patrick Mahomes than any other quarterback. But it's not excuses, bro. When you as great as Pat Mahomes, because I was about to start making some excuses as to why he lost that second Super Bowl, even though I feel like all of them is valid. I just feel like I don't know how you can't see with Pat Mahomes, the greatness of Pat Mahomes. I really can't. I told y'all a couple shows ago, it was a dude who was telling me that he only thought Pat Mahomes was good as he was because of the talent around him. And this is why I continue to say, bro, if Pat Mahomes had what Joe Burrow had around him, man, you got me. Maybe it would have been harder for me to understand how great Pat Mahomes is. Pat Mahomes ain't never had 3 number 1 receivers running around and a great running back at the same time. He's never had that, bro. So I don't understand why that is a thing that people continue to try to say. Like, to me, Pat Mahomes is inevitable. He's inevitable. That's what I learned today. And as I'm saying that, the Detroit Lions is probably about to go up. They are. The Detroit Lions is currently winning 21-7 in San Francisco. Once again proven San Francisco is a bunch of frauds. They do not have Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow on the other side of that ball. And apologies to Pat Mahomes. They don't have none of them good quarterbacks on that side of the ball. But more importantly, they do not have the big dog Pat Mahomes playing against. And they folding like a fucking lawn chair right now, bro. Let's see if the Lions score before the half. The Lions been able to run the ball. That's one of the things that's done helped them. Because they can run the ball with Montgomery and Gibbs, that pass game that they run, the play action pass game working to a T. And if you could just keep doing that and let Jared Goff continue to play to the script, you ain't got much to worry about if you're the Detroit Lions, especially with Buddy already throwing an interception. But listen, if you're a Baltimore Raven fan, I hope I ain't piss you off too much. I hope I didn't. I had to be honest with Lamar Jackson, bro. It's taking nothing away from his greatness. Like I said, I don't take nothing away from Josh Allen. They still great. I still trust him at the end of the day. But man, that dude, Pat Mahomes, is different. It's different. And one of the things that I realize is this. Sometimes you have to be in that moment multiple times in order to get it done. It's just a reality. Maybe Josh Allen going to have to continue to play against Pat Mahomes for you. Maybe that's just what it's going to take for Lamar Jackson. It's just how it goes when you play against somebody like a Pat Mahomes. And he is the one who has been chosen to be the greatest player of this generation, bro. It is what it is. And so with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. I am going for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Because it's no shot that I'm betting against Pat Mahomes, against none of them two bums over there in the air. I don't mean they bums, but for one, I fuck with Pat Mahomes, so I'm always going to go with the player I like the most. But two, I just think that I want to see Pat Mahomes keep winning Super Bowls. If every time he get there, he can't play against no quarterback that I like more than him. I mean, I love Jalen Hurts, but Pat Mahomes is not playing against anybody who I don't want him to beat in the NFC, basically. Not named Aaron Donald. Everybody else he play, bro, I'm going to root for him because he can't play against Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl. So I'm probably going to pick Pat every single time he get to a Super Bowl. I'll be honest. I want Pat Mahomes to get 7 Super Bowls. Now, I don't want that to happen in a sense because that's going to be at the extent of my guy, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but it is what it is. He already so close to greatness that I just want to see. Now, I don't want to see Nick Wright be able to celebrate and whatnot, but, bro, it is what it is. Hey, better luck next year, Baltimore. With that being said, I appreciate you. I fuck with you. Like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.